Well, hi there. I'm watching Lucy, starring Mr. Morgan Freeman, who's a national treasure, and Miss Scarlett Johansson, who's wonderful and amazing and lovely, very talented. In this movie, Miss Scarlett Johansson becomes super smart through using some drug, some new space-age drug, and she's able to use like 100% of her brain, whereas you and I are only using 10%. And the premise is you get superpowers when you do that, which I don't agree with because I know people who are like 2 times smarter than me, 3 times, 5 times. I've dated people twice as smart as me. They did not have special powers. They could not manipulate time and space. They were very good at crossword puzzles. They had good vocabulary, critical thinking skills, math, but they could not see through the wall and be like, oh, and they could not pick up Korean in an instant. They just couldn't. They were lovely people. Mr. Morgan Freeman is an academic in this, a professor, and his specialty is like exploring what would happen if we use more of our brain. And he's like giving like a little speech to the class. And he's like, well, 20% maybe you could do this, 50% maybe you could do that. And somebody raises their hand, they're like, is this true? And he's like, I don't know. But he goes, this is evolution becoming revolution. And everybody in the audience looks to each other and they laugh and they go, this guy, he's good. Mr. Scientist, he's good. That's how you know it was off. That's how you know it's a bad movie. Then another student raises his hand. He's like, what would happen if you used 100% of your brain? And Morgan Freeman, whose career is spent thinking about these things, is taken aback by the question. He's like, he does like the chin stroke, and he reiterates the question. He goes, 100%. And the student goes, yes. And he does like the sideways glance. He's like, well, I don't know. He's like, it's unfathomable. And I'm like, that's your job, man, to talk about this stuff. Again, that's how you know it's a bad movie. Also, Scarlett Johansson, I love her. I love her to death. I got a little crush on her. If she lived in the neighborhood, I'd say hi. I'd be like, I'm Jim. I wear a red cap. I got overalls. I have a braid. But she doesn't have the range for these serious roles. She's trying. I get it. I do the same thing. I'm not an actor yet. But, yeah, she's doing these roles and she makes you uncomfortable in these serious roles. But like in 5 years, maybe she'll get an Academy Award. Hopefully. But I love her. I love her to death. Casting choices matter. Mend your words but a little, change your fortune. King Richard. Change your casting choices but a little, save your movie. If Mr. Morgan Freeman wasn't in this movie, it would be god awful more than it is. It would be unwatchable. It's like water in the desert. I'm like, okay, Scarlett Johansson's doing her thing. Again, she's lovely. But I'm like, as soon as Mr. Morgan Freeman shows up, I'm like, thank Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I hear that voice. It's revolution becoming evolution. It doesn't sound like Morgan Freeman at all. But that baritone's very, very soothing. Very soothing. I didn't know that. There's more connections in the human brain than there are stars in the galaxy. There's a universe up here. It says in the Kabbalah, when you commit murder, you destroy a universe. So there you go.